I went out last night and had a go at shooting the Earthshine once the sun had gone down. And I thought I'd show you what I did with the final image, as I did go with a 2-layer option just to bring the stars out more in the background. I went out and shot a few shots bracketing first of all and looking at the exposures. So if you check the exposures here, we've got 1/4 of a second, 500th of a second, 250, 500. These are all 1000 ISO. Also half a second there. And came back in, had a play around and just seeing how the exposures worked. And I certainly wanted to get the detail of the moon coming through here with this Earthshine, but I did like the glow and I wanted to keep Venus in the shot. I wasn't getting much in the way of stars coming through. I did push and pull all the sliders and did finally get something that I liked, but I've got to say what I ended up with, I really like the idea of actually overexposing this glow here, and it also helped with the stars coming through. And I thought, if that's what I want, why not go back and shoot it again, but bring the ISO down from 1000, because if I'm going to overexpose it to get the effect that I want, and remember, every exposure is correct, it's what you want out of it. But if I'm going to overexpose it, let's bring the ISO down and work with a better quality file. So I went back out and this is the shot I took. As you can see, brought the ISO down to 400 and I went with a 1 second exposure, and you can just start to see stars coming through. So I'm really happy with the moon here. I did try a 5 second exposure, but I did start to get the stars trailing and moving, so the 1 second was just about right. So what I did is I opened this up in Photoshop, produced 2 layers. I'll just show you what I did here. So here's the shot as is. So I'm going to open up that image. And what I want to do is I want to open up another copy image that looks exactly the same, but with the stars coming through. So first of all, I'm going to duplicate this image. And then take the previous image and close that. So I'm going to open up the same version, but with the stars in the image. Then back to Adobe Bridge, and now I'm going to actually work on the image to bring the stars through. Now I've already done this and saved it as a snapshot, and there you can see that the stars have come through really well. I'm not worried about this because this will change when I produce a layer mask. If I go back to the basics panel, and you can take a look and see here what I did with the exposure, contrast, highlights and shadows, whites and blacks. And I'm just really trying to get a clean image of the stars and also still retain some of those blacks. So open up that image, and now we're going to drag the previous layer onto this one. Using the Move tool, click and drag and press Shift, and that will pop it straight onto the top so that we have both layers there. I'm going to add an inverted layer mask by pressing Alt and Add Layer Mask. And now, just with the brush tool, be on the keyboard, and a white brush, so X to swap those round. And I'm just going to paint that underlying layer back through. Do the same here with Venus. And that allows the stars to come through. I'm just going to double check around the edge there. Make sure we're not keeping any of that overly done glow. That's how I did it. Hope you've enjoyed that. Let me show you the final result that I've actually posted on my Facebook page. So the moon is out for a few more days, so you can go out and try this. And I've got to say, I just used a cheap kit lens and produced great results, even though it was wide open. Go out and have a go. You've got a few days to do that. Hopefully this will help you if you want to bring those stars through.